This video is brought to you by Squarespace. In addition to playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, link in the description by the way, I also got to play a few hours of Watch Dogs Legion. Now, I don't care about this franchise. I only played a little bit of the first one, I didn't touch the second one, and when the third one was announced, I was like, whatever, who cares, you know, sure, go for your life, Ubisoft. Then I saw the trailer at the Ubisoft event last year, and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. You had a really unique premise of being able to kind of like take control of almost anyone on the street and recruit them into your squad and play through missions as them, you know, using their unique skill sets and stats and whatever else. I was like, cool, I'll pay attention to that. Then I played it for at least about 30 minutes, maybe more. And I remember just thinking, yeah, cool, they're pulling this off. This is interesting. I like where they're going with this. I'll pay attention. Having played now another like 3.5 to 4 hours of it here in Sydney at Ubisoft HQ, I can tell you I am definitely paying attention to this game. From a game design perspective, I mean, this is pretty interesting. Like, it really is. The sheer number of like game systems operating at any point in time in this game is very surprising, and the amount of choice that gives the player is very meaningful. Every encounter, every mission felt like its own unique puzzle that I can solve in a variety of ways. And I just remember thinking, wow, man, it's a real sort of like thinking man's GTA. I know that probably sounds a bit lame off the top, but that's what I remember thinking. And I was like, cool, I want to play more of this video game. No doubt about that. Okay, so let me tell you what I experienced, and let me show you Watch Dogs Legion. So, for those of you unfamiliar, Watch Dogs is a franchise that's one of those sort of GTA-esque open world things where you can hijack any car you see. It's set in the city, you run around causing mayhem, completing missions. What has set Watch Dogs apart in the past has been its focus on hacking, which is most of the world has elements that you can kind of click a button and then mess with it somehow, like bringing security gates up or hacking cameras or whatever else, okay? This time around, what really separates this game is its recruitment system. So the premise is that some paramilitary organization has instituted authoritarian rule over London, and you now are kind of operating in the shadows as a resistance member of this DedSec cell, and you need to recruit members into DedSec to, you know, overthrow the tyrant, whatever. Recruitment is a big focus in this game. You can scan anyone that you see and see their stats, see their profession, see their personal routine, which is a thing we'll come back to, by the way. And then some of them you can actually recruit if there is an option to do so. So here at the beginning, I am a construction worker, and I then see, you know, nearby there's a guy and he has a specific set of skills that I would find useful in my DedSec unit. So I then approach him, and he tells me that, you know, I can join your unit, but I've got some problems, and I need to solve those problems. So the first mission involves me going to a location and then downloading some audio records, and then the second mission involves me going somewhere else and deleting some records off of half a server. At that point, he's no longer being blackmailed. He can help me. I get access to his unique set of skills and stats to augment my DedSec squad, and that's it. Now, I can switch to anyone in my squad at any point in time. Similar to, say, GTA 5, where you can switch between the 3 characters. You can do the same thing here, but you can switch between 20 characters, and all of them have their own like thing going on, their own individual voice track, their own stats, their own approaches to missions and what have you. Okay, so as an example, there's a construction worker, which I'm starting with here. The unique thing about the construction worker is that they can call down a construction drone whenever they like, and then I can just fly it all around London. And that's what I did. So I played most of my playthrough as this construction worker, because flying across London on this big giant drone is simply too good not to do. So I did that, okay? If I was playing as the spy type character, then I would have access to this cool looking Aston Martin that happens to have rockets on it, okay? There are dozens of these different player archetypes, and they all have their own different gadgets and their own different skill sets and their own different weapon types that they use and their own different melee weapons and melee animations. there's a lot of that there, man. Like, it's a lot of stuff. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that just the number of design systems on display here is really impressive. Just as an example, every character has their own different voice track, okay? That means when I go into a cutscene, I hear their voice in the cutscene. That means that the developers had to record the same conversation across like 12, 15, 20 plus voice actors, just in case you brought that specific character to that cutscene. Now, they didn't need to do that. They could have done silent protagonist, but they chose to go the extra mile. And, you know, I really respect that. But the real meat of this system is just how much it influences your approaches to scenarios, you know? So here in this example, I am using the spy and I need to get up to a rooftop. Now, if I was using the construction worker, I could just fly up there. Sure, absolutely. But I'm not. I'm using the spy, so I need to find a different way up. And there's a way around the building where I can ride these, like, you know, window washer elevator things, and that's how I get up there, okay? Another example, coming back to the construction worker, there is a mission where I need to infiltrate a construction site. When I am on a construction site as a construction worker, the security guards, they don't really hassle me that much, or at least not until I get really close to them. If I was using the spy in a construction site, then I'd immediately have problems. They'd spot me from a mile away. That's it. What I can do here as the construction worker is walk around like I own the joint, and then when someone gets close to me and they start eyeing me, I can actually just hack their phone and they kind of get distracted, and that gives me a moment to strike, and then I can knock them down, and then I can actually kind of like stealth their body, you know, with like Metal Gear Solid camouflage tech, and their body just disappears, okay? That is impressive. And that also leads into the different technology and weapons that each of these player archetype has. So, you know, I can use with my construction worker a nail gun and a wrench, and you know, the spy has a silenced pistol, and the graffiti artist has a paintball gun style thing that will stun enemies. There's a huge breadth of different tools available and weapons and play styles based upon who you're using at any point in time. So all of that was just super impressive. And then on top of that, there's also just, you know, your overall choice about, do you want to go all guns blazing or do you want to stealth it? I will say that I was quite impressed with both options here. I did choose to play it stealthy at times, and stealth worked really well. I could sneak around, I could take cover behind areas, I could walk up and, you know, take down enemies. Movement feels very snappy, by the way, and melee combat feels very responsive, really good, really like that. Or I could go in all guns blazing, and yeah, the shooting also feels really solid. It does have that hard cover system that puts me behind something, and then I can pop up and shoot. I don't think the shooting mechanics are quite as tight as something like The Division in terms of third-person shooting, but they're still really great, and I just, you know, you're seeing some potato aim here, by the way, because I was playing on a controller and I don't play well on controllers, so forgive that, but I will tell you that shooting does work really well. So this is what I'm talking about with all of these different choices available to you. Who am I going to bring? How am I going to get in there? How am I going to play it while I'm there? Am I going to go all guns blazing or stealthy, or just walk around like, hey, I belong here, you know, and then all of a sudden I bash you over the head with a wrench? What's interesting to note is how much this game has changed since I played it last year at E3. Last year, there was a full RPG leveling system in place where every enemy had a level, and also all of the people you recruited had levels, okay? I spoke to Ubisoft about this, and they told me that what that did was essentially get you overly invested in specific characters that you leveled up, and it forced you to ignore the others that were lower level. So they completely scrapped that system. There is some sort of progression for each character now in terms of unlocking different technology, but you're still going to be heavily incentivized to switch things up and move around between different characters, which is good because if you've got a system this flexible, you don't want to be limiting players to that. The other thing is that they have gotten rid of the level gating bullshit. Enemies no longer have levels anymore, and that's good. That means you can go anywhere and do anything, at least so far as I can tell. I think this is partly in response to Ghost Recon Breakpoint's failure, where, you know, Ubisoft in general was just converting everything into a level-gated RPG. They've stepped back from that from Valhalla, it seems, a little bit, and they've certainly stepped back from that in a big way here in Watch Dogs, and I'm totally here for that because That's enough of that, Ubisoft. Stop doing that. I drove around in different cars and bikes. I have to say that the driving mechanics were pretty good. I thought they were solid. I didn't have any big problems with them. I remember feeling like the driving really sucked last time I played it at E3, so I do think that the driving has been improved this time around, so hats off on that. Visually, the game looks really stunning, to be honest. It does offer a huge variety of locations. We're talking about London, so you are seeing like Westminster and the House of Parliament, and you're also seeing dingy streets lit up by neon signs, almost cyberpunk-esque. Your DedSec headquarters in particular is quite sort of, you know, cyberpunk inspired. I like that. It's a really good sort of contrast between that ye olde England thing and also the whole new age technology focused, whatever you want to call it. I liked it. I think the game looked really nice, and it was also running with RTX ray traced lighting enabled on the build that I was running, and I could see the way it was using those reflections throughout different parts of the game. When it comes to monetization, I don't know the answers to that yet. They always stay sort of tight-lipped on that stuff until launch. I did notice a shop, but that was using in-game currency to buy cosmetics for your character. Hopefully Ubisoft do not cram this full of microtransactions, because we know how they have approached things recently. Hopefully they've taken Breakpoint as a learning and they've walked back from that, but we will see. So overall, at a high level, I'm really impressed by just the flexibility on display in this game. The choice of character that you can bring, the different skills they have, the different technology they have, the different ways you're able to approach each mission. I just think that's great, and I really, really respect it a lot. And as I said, from a game design perspective, I think it's fascinating. It really is. I mean, you'll see it for yourself, but yeah, they've put a lot of work into this game. This is anything but lazy. My one question is whether or not this is going to be like fun for 40 hours. And what I mean by that is it's quite a finicky game. You know, you do need to press 4 or 5 buttons just to get your drone to land and then jump on it and then get it to fly and all that sort of stuff. When it comes to hacking, sometimes that can be a little bit convoluted. There's a lot of puzzles that kind of stop you in your tracks where you need to like reroute electrical current going through things. I'm saying this because, you know, I think a lot of people who want to play these open world style games like GTA, they just want to fuck around, they just want to blow shit up, they want to have fun. I don't get the impression that this is like that. I get the impression that to make things happen in this game, to complete missions, to solve the puzzles that they've set for you, you do need to jump through some hoops. And I think some people will bounce off that and think it's too annoying. And I think other people will think, wow, yeah, cool, this is fantastic, so clever, well done, you know? I don't know where I'm gonna land on that yet. And this is a preview, it's not a review. I'm gonna play this for 25 to 30 hours and see how that shakes out for me. All I can say is that I'm fascinated by this game so far. I really am just so interested to see if they can pull this off, because there's a lot of ambition here. There's a lot of genuine flexibility and choice. And I think that, you know, they've just done something really interesting and new. And I'm always down for interesting and new. Anyway, that's the video. Game comes out in, I think, October or something. So you can check it out then for yourselves. I'll have a review up around that time. Thank you for watching. Do the subscribe thing if you like, and then maybe come back next time around. See ya. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace offer the best, most complete website creation tools you'll find anywhere on the internet, allowing you to make professional looking websites in mere minutes. You simply choose a template, make it your own, and then you're up and running. There's even advanced tools like SEO, increasing the chances that you'll be found on the internet. There's stuff like analytics, so you know how many people are visiting your site and what they're clicking on. And they even have e-commerce options, so you can run your own business through the website, selling stuff online, easy. To get started, visit squarespace.com, sign up, start designing your own site, and when you're ready to get serious, visit squarespace.com/skillup for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you very much, Squarespace, for sponsoring the video, and thank you for watching it. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing. And if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.